Well, when you win the league by 25 points and you clinch with like 9 games left, you're obviously doing something right. And we're definitely doing something right. Boris Pasevsky, 40 goals on the season, a 7.66 rating. Emil Abaz, 23 assists. Bozanovsky, 98% pass completion rating. Pasevsky, 10 player of the matches. A bunch of guys with yellow cards, a couple guys with some red cards. We've improved our yellow cards in that we're not getting as many as we used to when I first started. It seems to be a theme with me that no matter where I go and what team I go to, they turn into a yellow card machine, which doesn't make a lot of sense because A, I don't dive into tackles. B, I don't tackle hard all that often. Yes, we press, but we're not like in your jockstrap pressing you to press. So I've never been able to figure it out. The last 4 iterations of FM, I've always had like teams with really high yellow cards. We got here in fine form. After beating Tickfest, we beat in the second leg to get to the final, which we're going to play here against Pallister in just a bit. We beat Academica Pandev 5-0. We beat Rabbit Nikki 4-1. We beat Renova 1-0. We beat Tickfest 3-0. And we tied with Gostavar 1-0. This was not a rotated side, actually, which made this kind of annoying because I started a lot of youth players in these games. Carlos Gabriel is getting a ton of playing time at midfield, and he's been improving by leaps and bounds. So he's 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. He's 16 years old now. He'll be a 17-year-old starter next season. I don't know we're going to be able to hold on to him past 18. The thing I am keeping my eye on, and I know I've mentioned this before, is Giannakis Charlubis. Where is he? Right here. He is currently 18 years old. And he has 637 days before he can become a North Macedonian citizen, I believe. So, if he ages out, is he going to have to spend a year on the bench or playing on the U21s where until he gets his citizenship? That's something we're going to have to wait to find out. So, normally what I do, it's the last game of this. If it was the last game of the season, it wasn't a cup game, I would play the youth squad. But as it is the cup game, and it's Pallister, who apparently, I did not realize this, are like our hands around each other's throats sort of derby. We're gonna play all the big guys. So with a couple injuries and a couple of match issues, one of which is John Gabriel. He twisted his knee, so he's out for 2 weeks. We're going back to the 4-2-4. I've been playing the 4-3-3 just to get Gabriel in and have a decent amount of depth on the bench as well. Man, I was injured. What do I need to do? I need to move. What I need to do is get the unavailables off. And that will clear things up. And wow, okay, that's why that is the way it is. So we're going to pass off and bring Skandari on. But this is the squad we're going to start today. It's going to be Grozdanovsky in goal, Tasevsky, Bozanovsky, and Stamkov is the defensive back four. Abaz and Todorov are the midfielders. Tusha and Demi are the attacking mids. Basevsky and Ilievsky up top as the strikers. Do I want to switch them? I do. Big crowd in the home stadium. Volkovsky goes in for the goal off the set piece. Kitanovsky scores. That was unfortunate. We're going to go to the attack here. Got some encouragement out. Volkovsky again from the side of the box. And again, Kitanovsky misses. Well, Kitanovsky gets a head on it, but he doesn't. He misses this time. I wish he missed last time. Volkovsky into the crowd, knocked away. Abaz picks up the carom. He's got help. He's almost dispossessed. Keeps going, gets the ball to Demi, who somehow managed to pick up a yellow in the first 15 minutes of the game. Lofts it in. Demi's there, squares it. Kitanovsky blocks it. And then another Pallister player kicks it away. I praise my squad. They're overwhelmed by feedback. Tasevsky on the throw into Abaz. Over to Tasevsky. Stamkov heads it down to Bosevsky. He gets it back to Todorov, who tries blasting in, but Kitanovsky's there. Ball ends up at Ilievsky's feet, and he scores, and we equalize at 28 minutes. Let's see what happened here. Tasevsky Stamkos to Bosevsky. Todorov tries blasting laser in, but it bounced off my guy, actually. It bounced off Demi, ended up at Ilievsky's feet, and he scored. Something tells me Demi wasn't expecting that from just the way he sort of reacted. His hands went up like this. Abbas from distance curls it just wide left. Again, Abbas from distance. And Georgiev gets a hand on it. Abbas. Corner kick towards Bosnovsky. Come on. Bosnovsky's there, but it goes right to Georgiev. And we are going into the half all square. We have more shots, more on target. Our XG is definitely higher. No clear-cut chances. Decent possession. Yet another set-piece goal. Koleski off the corner kick. Holy cow. If we lose to Pallister in the cup, I couldn't even form the words fast enough before they scored. Velkovsky on the corner kick. David heads it down. Koleski's there, bounces off a defender, and it's put past Grozdanowski. Velkovsky back to Panovsky. You know what we're going to do? Well, after this here. Demi. Across the field, drops it off to Abbas. Abbas out to Tasevsky. Tasevsky feeds Tusha. Tusha kicks it way too far ahead. And ends up just giving it to the keeper. 60 minutes in. I'm not going to make any changes just yet. I might after this. Koleski. And Grozdanowski gets a hand on it. Demi knocks the ball away, and that's the highlight. Come on, guys. Got 30 minutes to make it happen. You know, Abbas. I got guys who are about ready to die, it looks like. Todorov picks up the carom off the header. Gets the ball to Tasevsky. One touches it to Abbas. Abbas across the front. Bounces off a Pallister player. Koleski just clears it to Bosnovsky. He gathers up the ball, pushes it forward. Stamkos to Demi. Demi up into space for Tusha. Tusha gets it to Abbas. Drops it off to Tasevsky, left side of the box. Crosses it in. Bosnovsky can't get a head on it. David picks it up for Pallister. Gets it to Koleski. Over to Mosky. And Stamkos is off. Are you flipping kidding me? A season like this, and that's how it's going to end. Get Pandev on, move Tusha to the top. Get Bosevsky off. What was that? Cal? What was that? How about you come pick it up? Well, Babic is actually injured, and I couldn't bring him on, so we're playing 3 at the back. I brought on Charlabas. We're playing 3 center backs. It's not going to matter. Unless we get a miracle from the FM gods, Pallister's gonna win the cup and be really happy about it, and they should be. They've absolutely outplayed us. Velkovsky goes right, centers it. Abbas knocks it towards Demi. He heads it to Tusha. Tusha up to Olevsky. Olevsky takes a shot. That was just... Last chance. Velkovsky sends it in. And Kitanovsky goes wide left on the header. Velkovsky again with the highlight. Knocked away. Namsevsky gets it to Boskovsky. Stoyanov. Georgiev to Tomosky. Crosses it in. Bosnovsky knocks it away. Pandev loses the ball. It was a good tackle by the Pallister player. Ujevski tries getting the ball to Tusha. He's tired, so he's not doing well. That is the game. And holy cow, do I not want to see this. Beaten on the field in front of our home fans. That's annoying. We've won the league 7 years in a row, 6 years in a row now, and we've only won the cup twice, I want to say. And somehow the game is caught in a loop. So we're going to pause it and come back when we have a result. And there we go. Not quite sure what happened, but okay. Save the game here real quick. It kind of stinks losing like that. We've won the cup 3 times in 7 years, despite winning the league 6 of those 7 years. Stamkos better accept this fine. Okay, so we're getting to the end of season review here. We had some players that had some really good seasons. First of all, go here. We'll bring on the under 18s. I'll bring on the lone players as well because they actually had some really good seasons too. So if we sort by appearances, Riste Grossanowski led us again, had 1 assist, a 7.24 rating. Konstantin Pandev, 41 appearances, 6 off the bench. Dude, what are you looking for? Seriously? Where'd you have him last? Also, you're not wearing that to Top Shots or whatever. Okay, put on some nice shorts and a nice t-shirt, please. Konstantin Pandev, 41 starts, 6 off the bench, 5 goals, 14 assists, a solid midfielder. Boris Pasevsky, 40 starts, 5 off the bench, 40 goals, 12 assists, 10 players of the match. Mili Todorov, 35 appearances, 3 off the bench, 7 goals, 15 assists, 3 players of the match. Peyton Tusha, an all-around effort, 23 goals, 13 assists, 6 players of the match. Bozanovsky, solid on the defensive back line, played kind of all over the place, 6 goals, 2 assists, or 2 players of the match. Mitko Stamkos, the yellow card notwithstanding, it's a solid season for him. Artem Demi, a well-rounded season as well, 17 goals, 12 assists, 4 players of the match. Tasevsky, 3 goals, 6 assists from my left back. Emil Baz, 12 goals and 23 assists, 4 players of the match. Matthew Bozanovsky, 8 goals, all off set pieces. Vlada Novetsky, 7 goals, 6 assists, and mostly, well, he had 18 starts, but he also had 15 appearances off the bench. He was a very capable substitute for us. Loan-wise, Mitrovic had a good season. Olevsky had 3 goals. I got a little bit more rotation in my starters, but if we look at the goals here, got 4 players in double digits. And Bozanovsky was on 8 assist-wise, 23, 15, 14, 13, 12, 12, 12. I mean, you can't really argue with that. If we look at expiring contracts, Abaz is leaving. He doesn't want to resign. He is not happy with a bunch of stuff, apparently. Bozanovsky is happy. He got over Georgi Jankelov being upset. When I saw that, I went and signed him again, so he's here for another 2 seasons. Rostovsky's going to leave. Aliyovsky, Popovsky, Matreski, they're going to leave. Skanderi's going to leave. It's way too much red. Markowski, Luffy, Donev. So Krejci was injured. He broke his leg. He was out almost all the season. I wouldn't mind bringing him back in on loan, but he's 24. It's one of those cases, if I need him, I'll bring him back in. And then it's essentially going to be these guys up here. And the nice thing is I believe we have more than a few capable youth players who are going to be able and willing to step up. Nikolovsky amongst them. So, get to the end of the season here. Gabriel's on international duty for who? Brazil? He's on the under 20. He's a 16-year-old on the under 20 Brazilian national team. Holy cow. I am totally not keeping him past his 19th year. There's no way he's going to see time as a Vardar player, as a Macedonian citizen. So you know what? We're just going to play him until we lose him, and we're going to get a boatload of money for him. Well, maybe not a boatload. Truckload? Cartload? End of season review. Some really good signings. Pasevsky, BBC, Bosnowski. Too high for this place. Yeah, I can kind of see that. He's on 16,000 a week. But it's one of those cases where you got to overpay to get it. The biggest win was the 6-0 against Dudelang. Our best match to remember was the 1-0 against Dundalk Strata after Todorov got sent off. And the Gajufi goal. No, the Bosevsky goal. No, the Bozanovsky goal. And the Bozanovsky goal from the Gostovar game. Let's see this here. So Kresdy, Bozanovsky. Yeah. I don't know. There may have been better goals. Finance-wise, we were down everywhere just because the money wasn't as high as it was last year with regards to Europe. We got knocked out early. And so as a result, there's 6 million euros less in the competition prize money. There's a little bit less in corporate and hospitality. There's a little bit less in broadcast revenue. On the other hand, sponsorships went up. Match day went up. So played mostly the 4-2-4. Tusha, Basevsky, Abbas, Nevsky, Pandev, Todorov. For some reason, I have Garcia. I have Carlos training as a midfielder, a deep line playmaker, and the coach in my system would always put him in as a defensive center back. So, player awards. Young player this fan player of the season was Basevsky. Young player of the season was Basevsky. Signing of the season was Basevsky. We got him for 1.4 from Rabbit Nicky. And now he's wanted by Copenhagen and Jagiellonia. Bosnowski, the goal of the season. Basevsky, 40 goals. Abbas, 23 assists. Basevsky, 10 players of the match, 7.6 rating. Manev, most passes completed, 88, but he was a part-time player. Youngest player, Carlos Gabriel, 28. Youngest player, Carlos Gabriel, 15 years, 270 days. Absolutely dominated the league. Good season in review. What I'm interested in seeing is how some of these players, especially the ones that came through the youth intakes and stuff like that, and players I moved are no longer at the club and where they ended up. So Vodic is still playing for Estoril, but he had no games or starts whatsoever. Volkovsky, we just saw at Pallister. But like Andonovsky, he's at Melbourne Victory. It's an okay season. Nikolov at Hapoel. So I'm looking to see if we're strengthening the nation as well. We will accept that vision. Dynamics is good. End of season team meeting. We are going to win the league. Give a good accounting of ourselves in the Champions Cup. Thanks, everybody. Manev was out for 4 months with damaged cruciate ligaments. Krezi was out for 4 months with a broken ankle. Tasevsky was out for 4 months with a broken ankle. A lot of broken ankles this season. Not sure why. I don't think it's the ground. Basevsky wins North Macedonian Cup Top Goal Scorer Award. I have not really looked at what the scouts have brought back in terms of North Macedonian players. The older, better players are still out there. They're probably still out of our price range. Well, not anymore with the money we're making. It's going to be the issue for the next couple of seasons. So it is the third week in August when I'm recording this. Assuming end of September, beginning of October is when they announce FM23. FM23 comes out middle of October. I think what we're looking at is we're dominating the league. I think it would take a rash of injuries or a Scoopy or a Rabbit Nicky getting really, really good, really, really quick, and having the same sort of money we do in order to bring in players of quality. And so far, it doesn't look like they do. It looks like it's been mostly, in the hundreds of thousands, as opposed to us right now, where we're dealing with 12.2 million, and I still have 60,000 left to play with. The issue is we have a team that's going to dominate the league. But we also have a team that's not good enough to get to the Champions Cup. It's just not. And it's not going to be. It would take literally 15, 20 years of game time for enough North Macedonian new gens to come through and players to develop that the number of good players who can help you win a Champions Cup are A, available, but B, there's no guarantees they would sign with the club. I mean, it took Tusha 5 years to come here, and he was originally at Vardar. He didn't want to come back because the standard of living was too low, the quality of game was too low, the league wasn't big enough. Right now, the league's in 41st place, and it's a little better. The problem is we're not good enough to compete with the big boys. We are a big fish in a small pond, and we can come and surprise a few teams and go places. But when you're playing teams like Leicester and Wolfsburg in Euro Cup 2, it's going to need a minor miracle to win any. It's going to, as I'm totally misspelling it here wrong, to win any sort of trophy. I mean, Southampton won it last year. They beat Bilbao. This year it's Feyenoord. This year it's Feyenoord versus Bilbao. Southampton won it last year, and they beat Valencia. Leicester beat Sporting. Wolves beat Real Hispalis. Valencia beat Inter. Vitoria beat Leicester. Lazio beat Hertha Berlin. Roma beat Tottenham. We're not competing with any of those teams at all. Any of them. Anytime in the near future. Now, we might jump up and surprise a Vitoria once. We might jump up and surprise a Hertha Berlin or a Real Hispalis. But, the fact of the matter is, Southampton is a rich club with a lot of depth and some really good players. And the same thing for Sporting and Leicester and Valencia. Inter, for crying out loud. So I think what we're going to do, the announcement's going to come out probably end of next month, I would bet. The issue is, at the moment, this is season 8. I just posted middle of season 6 episode to YouTube tonight. So I'm trying to get back to 4 updates a week. Hopefully I have. That remains to be seen. But that's the goal. The question is, how far can we get? So I think regardless of what happens, whether or not there's any announcements or anything like that, probably middle of October is when I'm going to call an end to this. So that's going to be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 more episodes. This is episode 61, and I just posted 22. Yeah, that plan went out the window really quick, didn't it, Jellicoe? Good gracious. That's what I get for not planning. And plus, it's been odd. I'm going out of town on business again next week. I'm not going to be able to play. I'm going to be recording ahead of time and posting. So, we're going to take the club as far as we can get. And if we don't win any sort of European trophy, that's fine. This has been a really fun save. I'm really liking it. It's definitely been a challenge. And the ability to go out and find players and bring them on and be successful with them and lose them and find someone to replace them has come in quite handy. Winning the league, getting as far as we have in the European runs, in the European competitions that we've been in, has certainly helped. So I think any club, be it an RFS or even a Sheriff Tiraspol, for crying out loud, would be in the same boat we were if they were winning as much as we were. So we'll go from there. So what? 2 more seasons? 6, 12. We'll play it by ear. This is season. Yeah, we'll get 30, 31. You know what? We're just going to play it by ear. You know, the best laid plans go to waste. Custer had a plan. The ball is round. Anything can happen. We're going to keep playing. We're going to keep having fun. And when the series ends, it ends. So, all that said, if you did like what you've seen in here, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I'll answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM22, and thank you for watching.